You clicked on the video, you might as well hit the like and subscribe button. And if you leave a comment, I'll comment back. You know I wouldn't even trip. Yo, I was having a conversation with my son last Sunday. He came over to my house and just kick it with me. He do that from time to time. And I was explaining to him my reasons for quitting smoking weed and quitting doing a lot of things. And and one of my reasons was because me and my daughter was one at the time. My daughter was one at the time. She's 17 right now, and me and her mama was just making like bad decisions. You know, we were just doing stuff that we really didn't have no business doing. Not to be adults and to have kids and to to be responsible enough to guide them in the right way. But I saw something one day, and I had a lot of reasons. Like I had a whole bunch of reasons to quit smoking weed and quit and to get out the street and quit selling dope. You know, because my reason for quit selling weed was my reason for quit selling dope. But the thing, selling dope made me want to quit selling weed. I was thinking about quitting it anyways because they was talking about legalizing it. But selling dope confirmed that I needed to quit selling weed. I was they was talking about legalizing weed, and it's gonna be, people can be able to do weed and purchase weed to get weed license and all that type of stuff. It was exciting at the time, but I just kept on, I don't know, I just always think of the negative stuff that can happen to you when you involved. Then I was in the streets so tough, so I was telling him, you can't trust people because people will put your life on the line just to make a small amount of money. They don't care. They just want the money. But I was with one of my partners one day, and somebody called him for some, I don't know if they called him for some blow or some rocks or something like that. But he didn't have what they wanted, but he wanted that money. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the money. And so what he did was he took he just went around the house finding pills, all kind of stuff, and crushing them down and mixing it with the stuff, that the little bit that he had, so he can get to the amount that he needed to get to sell these people. And I was watching that, and that always stuck in my mind. I never forget that. I just never forget that. I was like, man, he willing to risk these people's life for a couple dollars, because it ain't like you making no life changing money. We in the hood, we broke. Even if we make the money, we still broke. And I was just looking at that, so I'm like, shoot, if he'll sell, if somebody will sell, if he'll sell somebody that just to get a couple extra dollars in his pocket and risk their life, risk basically unaliving them for a few dollars. Because I don't even think the play was for no real money. Probably like $50 to $100 or something like that, which wasn't no real money even back then. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, dang. So when I saw that, that just always stuck in my head. And then I always thought about, I was like, shoot, man, I need to stop copping dope and selling dope, because people will sell you anything, man. And then you'll end up selling this to somebody and you'll end up taking a life because you don't know what you got. I don't use drugs. I don't know if it's good dope or not, because I've never used cocaine or crack or none of that stuff. So I don't know if it's good. I'm just going by what I'm told. I'm just trusting the dealer. So I looked at that and I was like, dang, man. So like everything that I'm doing out here right now, I'm rolling the dice. You know, I'm just rolling the dice, playing with my life, and I'm playing with other people's life. And that was one of my reasons for stop smoking weed, because they was finna start legalizing weed. So I'm like, if they finna legalize weed, the value gonna go down, and people ain't gonna care what they sell you. You gonna be smoking anything, you know. And the reason we was on this conversation, because my son, he was like, man, I'm finna quit smoking weed. I was like, you know, I pray for that every day, you know. But my thing is, I can't criticize him for something I was doing way younger than him. You know, I was doing it way younger than him, and I want him to stop. I pray for it every day, you know. And that was a blessing just to hear him to say, I'm finna quit smoking weed. But my reason for quit smoking weed was because I was with a woman, and we both was making bad decisions. And this is no knock on my baby mama, because I was supposed to be the leader. So I was making poor decisions. So I can't expect her to make good decisions. When I'm out on the street, I'm getting high. I'm doing it. Man, I'm doing everything under the sun, man. I ain't gonna even lie, you know. And this is another reason I be thanking God so much, because I know what I was doing, and I know God was protecting me. Because I could have served somebody some bold dope, because I didn't know what I was getting. You know, I could have served somebody some bold weed. I ain't know what I was getting. Or I could have got a hold to some bold weed. You know what I'm saying? I could have got a hold to some fentanyl and touched it, because I didn't know what I was doing back then. You know, I knew the streets, but I just, you know, I wasn't doing drugs, so I don't know the effects of drugs, what it do to you. I just know with the money that it put in your pocket, if you know what you're doing. You know, if your hustle right, you gonna get some money. If your hustle not right, you just gonna be hustling forever. True, and I would have been hustling forever, because I was, you know, I had a conscience, and I just always had a fear of the bad happening. But you know, I had a 1-year-old daughter, and one day I was just sitting in the kitchen. She came in there, and I was just looking at her. You know, I used to get up and make her something to eat in the morning, and, you know, or get her a bottle or some juice or whatever she wants. She ain't nothing but like one, a little bit over one, like probably 14, 15 months. Just barely just started walking. But I'm a father, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at my lifestyle, and I was like, man, this is just so unfair, because I really don't think if I continue to do what I'm doing, that I'm gonna still be out here with this little girl and to help her. And I know the decisions that her mama making. And like I say, it's no knock on her mama, because we both was making the same type of decisions. You know, I was drinking and smoking weed. She was drinking and smoking weed. We was just living life, you know, and we didn't understand the consequences of what we doing. But by me being a prayer, God started showing me the consequences. And he started showing me certain things. And I just told myself one day, I say, man, I'm finna quit smoking weed. But I wanted to quit smoking weed because of what I saw my homeboy do when he was finna serve that dude, that dope. And I was like, man, that could be, somebody could serve me some stuff, man, and my body don't agree with it, and it's over. Now my daughter ain't got number one parent, and that parent making bad decisions, you know, and I can't expect her to turn it around, you know, because I gotta I'm the man. I'm supposed to lead by example. So I said, I'm gonna quit smoking weed. I'm gonna wait for 6 months. I'm gonna quit smoking weed, get it out of my system, so I can go find a legit job, so I can take a drug test. I told myself, I was like, in the first job I come across, I'm taking it, and it happened just like that. And I stayed working. I never stopped working, you know, because I was working before then, but times that got hard, they closed our plant. I didn't quit my job. They just closed the plant down that I had been working at for years. And, I went back to the streets because that's what I knew. But the streets weren't meant for me, because God kept on giving me signs, and he kept on protecting me. But what I'm saying is, I had to make a decision to quit. I had to quit, and me telling my child or my children I love them, And I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Quitting was the best decision, but it was a hard decision because I had to struggle, man, for some years, man. I'm talking about standing like damn near like I was working, man, but I just had so many responsibilities. I was so behind, man. You know, I had to pay child support, make sure everything was right, man. So I was working and was still broke, man. And I had to work myself basically to death, man. I'm talking about I was sleeping in the parking lot at work, working double shifts, man, doing what I got to do. I can remember driving an hour to work, driving back home an hour. You know, I'll go to work 16 hours, drive home, sleep for like 2 hours, get back up, and be right back on the highway going right back to work. And sometimes I just sleep in the parking lot. Like if it was like a Friday or something or a Saturday and we wasn't working Sunday, I just gonna stay all day until the plant closed and it was time for me to go home. And then I just sleep that whole day. Like I just never, but I had to do it because that's the position I put myself in. But I thank God that I had the mentality to do that and, you know, the sacrifice, because I saw my mama do that. She sacrificed for me and my sisters and brothers, and she worked hard. I saw my Aunt Sue do that. You know, my Aunt Benita. I saw all my aunties, you know, and these was women. And I saw all my uncles hustle and just be in the streets and doing that. And then I had to change. That's why I'm glad, like me and a lot of my male cousins, we changed that cycle. We started working and started building different ways. You know, we have a hustle mentality, but you know, we was mostly our mother's child, so we was doing stuff mostly the right way. And that's why a lot of us are, you know what I'm saying? We ain't in the prison or nothing like that. We willing to get up and go get it the right way and the hard way. You know, I watch, you know, man, I be that man. Like my aunties was so strong, man. Like I can remember my man, I had some strong aunties, man. My mama, my Aunt Barbara Jean, my Aunt Pam. I think my Aunt Pam and my mama is the only females of that generation that I still got. My Aunt Peggy, man, it just was so many of them that they like held, man, they was like glue, you know, and we love these women. I'm talking about, man, the men in our family, like, we love our women to death because they made us, you know, they was glue, they kept us together, you know, and but what I was saying was my son was telling me he wanted to quit smoking weed, and I just told him like this, man. Uh, you know, you smoke weed. I was like, man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man, and I shouldn't be giving you this type of advice because it's the wrong advice, but I'm gonna tell you like this, me from being experienced, man. Your first blunt of the day is your best blunt. That's the highest you gonna get. So after you smoke that blunt, you know, I say the best thing you could do is hold off on smoking that blunt for as long as possible. If you go into work in the morning, you go to work, you get to the day, man, you work your hardest, you do what you gotta do, you work your hardest. You get home, when you get home, you wind down, you relax, and you try not to smoke weed for as long as possible. I say, and once you smoke that blunt, you know, you probably don't even have to smoke the whole thing. But that's gonna be the highest you're gonna get. That's gonna be the best meal you're gonna eat that day. And that's gonna be the best rest you have that day. And maybe you can get yourself off of it. I was like, but I suggest you don't smoke at all. But I'm just appreciating God that you even having the thoughts of quitting, because I had to see too much before I quit. So yeah, man, I'm glad I quit, man. It's been 15 and a half years since I smoked any weed. since I didn't had any smoke in my lungs, period. Uh, and I'm glad that I'm a few years into not drinking, you know, and my reason for quit, God was my reason for quit drinking. You know, God came to me and just told me, hey, you need to stop it or it's over for you. And I just quit cold turkey. You know, I'm glad I heard him when he was calling, when he talked to me. So, yeah, man, but find your reason to quit doing certain things, man. If it's something bad in your life that you need to change in your life, man, find a good reason to quit, man. It's always a good reason to quit doing bad stuff. But I ain't knocking nobody because it's hard out here, man, and we be looking for different vices to get us through certain things. You know, anything can be a drug. Eating can be a drug. You know, shoot, you can work out too much. You can, you know, it's a lot of stuff you could do that can affect the way you live life. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, man, because it's dangerous right now, man. It's a lot of stuff we don't need to be getting involved in because people don't care what they give you. They just care what they get. So keep that in mind, man. God bless y'all, man. And I hope y'all have a good day, man. And remember, man, Jesus is King. Prayer works. Do what you got to do to be out here, man. Stay out here, man. And build you a connection with God. I love y'all.